So if I just share my screen, and if you could give me a thumbs up when it appears, hopefully. Good, good. So I'll give you a bit of an introduction as to who we are, and then how apprenticeships might fit with yours or other companies' skill strategies that you deal with. So we're Herefordshire and Worcestershire Group Training Association. We're in our 53rd year, so we've got a pretty good bundle of experience to fall back on here around apprenticeships. We started as an engineering apprenticeship training provider, and then around 20 years ago branched out into other areas. So we now work across a range of sectors, including accountancy, business administration, customer service, leadership and management, and engineering. We are a member-led and owned organisation, so our members are local businesses, and I report to a board of directors which is made up of volunteers from those businesses. So our current board of directors has people from Sanctuary Group, Worcester Bosch, Malvern Panalytical, Arctic Circle, Heineken, Painter Brothers. So that gives you an idea of the sort of spread both geographically and sector of where we're represented. So we've got a good spread there. And we're a charity and a not-for-profit organisation, so any surplus we generate gets reinvested into our facilities and making sure we can provide the best training we can for the apprentices. We're Ofsted Outstanding, which is a reflection of the quality of the work we provide, and we're very proud of that, and look to maintain that throughout. We've got training centres in both cities. I'm currently sat in Hereford, so we've got a facility in Homer Road in Hereford of around 23,000 square feet, and we've got another facility in Worcester in Mackenzie Way near the new fire station there, which is again 20,000 square feet, which was only opened 3 years ago, and heavily backed by Worcestershire LEP to the tune of £1 million towards the costs of building that, which I think is a great reflection of how we're held in the wider community in Worcestershire, and that is a centre of vocational excellence for training there. Both centres very similar in their structure. We've got a big practical engineering workshop, which looks very much like an engineering factory, for want of a better term, and then a combination of lecture space, meeting rooms and offices. So a little bit of how we could help your business. Our apprenticeships, as I'm going to go into some detail on, is our primary reason for being, but we can also do some other work. So we do skills gaps analysis for companies, so we can come in, take a look at your workforce, what the skills situation is now, and identify any shortfalls, and then map out that journey to upskill your team. We deliver a range of training courses to support our business, and our focus with training courses is shifting more to bespoke delivery rather than a set agenda of training. We're finding that there's more and more demand for that, and especially at the moment with the COVID situation. So we're doing a lot of work there for companies literally on an ad hoc basis. So we'll get an inquiry asking, could we deliver training, for example, on a remote sales team that's going out into different premises every day, and how they do that safely and engage with customers in an appropriate manner. And the other thing we do is executive coaching and facilitation. It's not something we really advertise, but we're very good at it and have got a strong, highly qualified team for this. And today we've got a company from South Herefordshire. 14 members of their worldwide management team are in our Herefordshire facility today, with one of our people facilitating their strategic meeting. So we probably don't shout enough that we do that type of work, but that is going on. So apprentices, what are the benefits of hiring an apprentice? Training is tailored to your organisation. It's not a standard college course that you then get somebody already qualified and you have to start again. From day one, the training will be carried out and delivered and planned to suit your organisation. It's an opportunity to diversify and freshen up your workforce. You bring in typically an apprentice is a younger person, although we are not age discriminatory. It could be a person of any age, but it's a chance to perhaps get some fresh ideas in. Somebody that's not already burdened by experience, which can be both an advantage and a burden sometimes, set in their ways. Continual upskilling and progression. So an apprenticeship doesn't have to be one apprentice program. It can lead from program to program. We see this a lot with accountancy. We will take people at level 2, which is a GCSE level of education, and they will do a level 2 AAT program with us, and then they will go on to AAT level 3 and then level 4. So they could finish with us, after about 3.5 to 4 years with a really high level accountancy qualification that also tees them up to then go on to do CIMA or ACCA and become a chartered accountant. So, the learning never stops, as we say. Having the apprentice also helps you making sure you've got the right skills in place for the future. You're not employing an apprentice to help you out next month. It's a long-term process and planning around your workforce and your skills capability. And certainly for engineering employers where the apprenticeship is typically 4 years, if they're making a recruitment decision today, it's looking at a long way ahead as to where the skills gap are coming. And final point there really is 90% of apprentices remain with their employer. So it's not a short-term solution where you're going to have somebody that you help and train and then they run off over the horizon. They will hang around, they will work with you, the loyalty is repaid. Just a bit of information here around business sizes and the costs of training an apprentice and what incentives are available as well at the moment, because the government is making a big push on the training and apprenticeship and skills agenda to support businesses. So you can see there, if you're a small business, less than 50 employees, and your payroll's less than £3 million per year, you have no fees for training a 16 to 18-year-old and only 5% of the cost of a 19-plus apprentice. If you're bigger than 50 employees but still less than £3 million payroll, you have 95% of the training is funded by government and you're expected to contribute 5%. And to give you an idea, that 5% for an accountancy apprentice would be £300. So it's not a huge amount of money. For a customer service apprentice, it would be less than £200. Finally, if you're a large employer where your payroll's over £3 million, you already pay a levy into your apprenticeship levy pot of 0.5% of your payroll. And that is used to then fund the apprenticeships for you. You can see in the far right box of this slide, the employer incentives. These are government payments currently available to employers. So if you take on a new hire apprentice, age 16 to 18, the government will give your business £3,000 and £2,000 if they're 19 to 24. And even if they're over 25, it would be £1,500 payment. So as I said, the government's really keen to push the apprenticeship agenda at the moment, and you can see that with those payments. This is a little bit of news about us. I've already touched on the fact we're Ofsted Outstanding, and we really pride ourselves on the quality of work we do. And for apprenticeship providers, how that is primarily judged is how many apprentices actually achieve their full qualification at the end of the time. And for us as a provider, these figures are up to 31st of July last year, which is the academic year. Our achievement rate was 80%. And on this chart, you can see the next best provider across the 2 counties is at 72%. So we are, we're 10% better than anybody else in the 2 counties at this. And that chart we've, it's clearly anonymised, but there's a range of local and national providers there. The UK national average is around 65%, so we're 15% better than that. And this academic year ends tomorrow, and our achievement rate is actually nearly 6% higher this year than it was last year. So our strive for getting better is paying off there. So that's just one of the reasons why we're looked upon so highly locally, and a reason to choose us. I'll put up the details there, but a bit more detail around us. We currently have around 500 apprentices on programme with us across all of the programmes we do. We're working with 150 employers across both counties that are employing apprentices, large and small. So we've recently won the tender for Worcester Health and Care NHS Trust to pick up all of their apprentice training provision. So that's a real feather in our cap. But equally, we deal with businesses with 4 or 5 people. And it doesn't matter how big or small a business is, the apprentice and the employer gets the same attention from us. You know, it's really important that to us, because a small employer can give an apprentice just as good a start as a large one. So that's all from me, really, unless there's any questions. We go to some questions, and I'll put my details up there, and, you know, feel free to contact me outside of this if you need to know any more. Be glad to talk to anybody that's willing to listen.